In the high-stakes world of airplane repossession,
I've got an international situation here.
Nick Popovich and his team of experts scour the globe, chasing 2 large planes across 3 continents while battling mechanical failures, the wrath of Mother Nature,
If Eurocontrol wakes up, I'm dead.
and a labyrinth of red tape.
X-ray runway 7, hold, correction, runway 12, hold short, runway 7, abatement 10.
Valparaiso, Indiana is a city of only 11 square miles, and yet it's here in this small city, roughly 51 miles southeast of Chicago, that Nick Popovich hunts airplanes around the globe for repossession. No aircraft is too large nor too far away for Nick and his team to track down and reclaim for its lien holder. With 1,500 repos under his belt, Nick is certainly one of the top professionals in the game.
We've learned over the years, you always prepare for the worst and hope that it's the best. 9 times out of 10, it goes real smooth, and we're in and out before people know we're there. It's that 1 out of 10 that gets the adrenaline going. Putting the plan together. Just so everybody knows, 087 is on its way to France in storage. 088 is in for the C check. I've got Mike on his way there to observe the airplane, and we're going to start making a plan on that one. I've got an international situation here. I've got an international bank that's leased a pair of A320s to an operator. The deal has gone bad. I need to go get the airplanes and bring them home.
The Airbus A320 is a medium-range, narrow-body jet capable of carrying 180 passengers. It features twin turbofan engines and can fly to an altitude of 39,000 feet at a maximum speed of 537 miles per hour. Top value new, $48 million.
I hate being in Europe. I hate it.
The company has defaulted payment on both planes.
Because now we got Eurocontrol on our ass.
They're only 2 passenger jets as a commercial airline.
Let's wait until we get a hold of Al. Meanwhile, I'll start looking for a crew.
Nick devises a bold strategy to retrieve the Airbuses, and the logistics are staggering.
We've got the 2 airplanes. One's up here in Châteauroux, out just outside of Paris. The other's over here in Istanbul. And we got to get them all the way back to Gary.
Are we doing this same time?
We're going to try. They won't make it nonstop. We don't have the fuel range.
Okay.
So we need to find a stopping point.
Okay.
My idea is Santa Maria, right here in the Azores.
Okay, so why there?
It's out of the European theater, so to speak. Even though they're Portuguese island, they're really kind of out of Eurocontrol and everybody else's preview.
The first part of the plan relies on getting the planes to the Azores, a Portuguese archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean that falls outside the jurisdiction of European control. Nick can have both planes safety inspected there, hopefully without anyone attempting to interfere with the repo.
88 is going to depart Istanbul for Malta. You're going to want 39 to 40,000 pounds of fuel, so a full load. And that's into Santa Maria. From Santa Maria, we'll go direct Bangor. It's about 2,400 miles, 4.8 hours. We'll clear customs in Bangor. And then Bangor will go into Gary, which is 950 miles, and they can have bare minimum fuel there. I don't want a lot of fuel when we get back to Gary.
Okay.
That's 88.
That's
87, going to depart Châteauroux for Santa Maria.
Okay.
And that's just a little over 2,000 miles, 4.5 hours of flying, and that's 87.
Right.
87 will take the same route after that.
Okay.
Put as much fuel on board as we can take off with. I think that's it.
Okay.
Once again, everything has changed in Europe. Surprise, surprise. We're still talking about taking both airplanes to the Azores. What makes this one really difficult is it's international. Anytime we go international, we have to worry about the local customs and laws. We've got to worry about the European Union in this case. We've got to worry about their version of bankruptcy laws. And each one of those has a different variant on what other creditors have rights to. So we need to get in there, get this out before we start dealing with other creditors, their claims on the airplane if they have any. And next thing you know, we're there for months spending millions of dollars trying to get these assets out.
All right, we have a problem. Nick is really urgent about this. I mean, he wants to move the airplane like tomorrow.
We got 3 things to worry about. Eurocontrol,
Right.
Eurocontrol manages the airspace over Europe. Part of their duties, in addition to scheduling flights and clearing and giving clearances, is that they have to collect all the fees for the use of that space. What that means to us when we're doing a repo is if the airline hasn't paid them and they're not current, Eurocontrol can ground the airplane and hold it hostage for the fees. It's in our best interest and my client's best interest to get the airplane the hell out of Europe before that happens. 2, creditors are issuing arrest orders for fuel, maintenance, other supplies. And 3, of course, they owe 400,000 euros, almost $700,000 just in Eurocontrol. If arrest orders start hitting that airplane, they could be tied up forever. The vultures will start circling and airplanes are in great peril. We got to get crews to both France and Turkey as soon as possible so we can get these airplanes out of there or we might end up losing them, and we can't let that happen.
Châteauroux, France, the supposed location of the first plane, number 87. Master mechanic Jamie Bukowski is on his way to confirm the plane's location and condition.
I'm entering Châteauroux Airport. This is an old World War II military airfield that was abandoned and then became a maintenance base. I can see the airplane, but I want to make sure that it is the right airplane.
The reason I chose Jamie for this job is that he's got a ton of international experience, knows the French regulations, he's worked with Airbus extensively, knows the A320 inside and out. He's traveled the world for me, pulled off some amazing things under really adverse conditions, and I trust him implicitly, and I know that he'll pull it off.
What I could see from my location, it's intact. My goal is to move the aircraft out of here at 2 o'clock tomorrow and for it to arrive in the Azores a couple of hours later. And then in 3 or 4 days, have it deregistered and the aircraft will fly to the United States. Nick, this is Jamie. How are you? Good, good. Okay, so I'm here in Châteauroux. I found the aircraft, okay?
Jamie's located 87, the Airbus A320 in Châteauroux, France. He's gotten a good look at it. He thinks it's ready to go. We've kind of given a deadline of 2 p.m. tomorrow local time to be out of France. We're really concerned the operator may try and stop us or file bankruptcy or the equivalent thereof. So the plan is to jump on the airplane and get it the hell out of there.
The next morning, Jamie returns to the Châteauroux airport. Airport authorities are aware that he's there to repo the plane and have cooperated. He completes the necessary paperwork to move the plane out of France, does a thorough inspection, and coordinates with his local French pilots.
So it is now 10 minutes to 1, and I estimate that we'll be done long before 2 o'clock.
But just as the workers finish fueling the plane for departure, Jamie gets word there's a problem with customs.
I'm leaving today. Do not delay me.
The official demands Jamie go to customs.
I want to leave at 2 o'clock today.
In a back room, Jamie is informed that when the plane arrived in Châteauroux, the airline filled out a customs form, claiming that the plane was being exported rather than passing through to its next destination in the Azores. If customs allows the plane to leave without the right forms, the airport will be responsible for the export tax.
Nick, Jamie, now I have an issue with customs.
Okay, so that's gonna slow us up yet even more. Do you know what it relates to?
Back in Indiana, Nick gets word of the customs issue and immediately works on a solution, while Flight Ops Manager Karen Keaton waits for word to set things in motion.
We're counting on Jamie to get it done, get it moved. Kind of holding flights for our pilots, waiting to finish up. My handler's waiting, the airport's waiting for the aircraft to arrive. So, basically we're in a holding pattern until they tell me otherwise.
Nick searches for a customs broker in Châteauroux. For a fee, the broker should be able to clear any necessary documentation to allow Jamie to leave with the plane. Back in France, after several hours of negotiation, Jamie meets with the brokers, pays the duty, document, and other fees, and gets the brokers to change the import status. Jamie leads the pilots on board.
Non. En novembre, quelque chose.
As they prep their pre-flight inside the plane, Jamie does an examination of the exterior. This A320 looks good to go.
We're good. So now they're going to pull the ground equipment and we're going to start up the engines and go. When I see it take off, I know that it's done and it's a mission accomplished. I think it's a big accomplishment.
But then, Jamie gets a call from the pilots on board.
The fault with the engine shut down? When you shut the engine down, do you still have the fault? No, boy. What I'm going to do, shut everything down. I'm going to open up the engine and take a quick look at the connectors. If that's not it, then we got to shut down the aircraft, okay? Well, what we're having a problem with right now is called the FADEC. The FADEC is a computer that controls the engine. It's called Full Authority Digital Engine Control. The FADEC will control all the operations of the engine.
On board the plane, Jamie and the crew perform a FADEC test on engine number 2, and the test fails. Since the FADEC is a computer component that controls the engine, it's impossible to fly without it.
He gets a fault.
Are they looking at it now? Then have them on it first thing in the morning. I got to get the airplane out.
The A320 will be stuck on the ground until morning. The delay could open the door to more legal wrangling. It could also effectively shut down the repossession of the multi-million-dollar aircraft. Next up, the clock is ticking and a broken part threatens to halt the team in its tracks.
We have to replace the brake manifold before they will release the airplane.
Châteauroux, France. Last night's major computer system malfunction has grounded the repo of the A320. This morning, Nick Popovich's chief mechanic, Jamie Bukowski, returns to check the plane's status. He hopes to hear good news because time is of the essence. Getting the plane out of European control before the airline operator files bankruptcy means the difference between a successful repo and losing the multi-million-dollar jet.
I was giving the news this morning that the aircraft problem has been resolved, that they ran the engine is normal. They said that they found one of the connectors that we were looking at last night, that one of the pins was pushed back. The problem that was showing up as an indication in the cockpit, it's no longer there.
The pilots arrive, and with all systems checked and ready for launch, this A320 bound for the Azores is finally pushed back for takeoff.
We will have it out of the Azores in 4 or 5 days, whatever time it takes to get it re-registered into an N number, and off he will go home.
But as optimistic as he sounds, Jamie is still a little unsure.
But the final feel that this has been a completed mission will be when Nick walks up to the aircraft and says, this aircraft has been officially repossessed.
Jamie's job is done. As usual, he stared a challenge in the face and won. Now it's up to Mike Connolly, Nick's chief mechanic in Istanbul, to retrieve the other Airbus.
Jamie ferried 87 out this morning. I have not. It should be landing any time now. 3:30 this morning, it was decided we're not going to repo 88 until Tuesday.
Istanbul, Turkey, home of Ataturk Airport, one of the most secure airports in the world. Master mechanic Mike Connolly is attempting to move the second A320 Airbus, plane 88, out of Turkey and into the Azores, but has hit a stumbling block with a broken brake manifold.
Just got a text from Mike after all this going back and forth. It's been decided that it's a necessity. We absolutely have to replace the brake manifold before they will release the airplane.
The brake manifold provides and regulates the pressure to the brakes. If the braking is not symmetrical, the aircraft could go into a dangerous skid.
You might want to call and see what they would charge to go over and take this brake valve off. Tell them we can copy the Airbus manual for them if they don't have one.
Okay.
That's our big problem today, is figure out how to do that manifold.
This is the part right here. We need to find that, or we need to take that off of the particular aircraft that we're using. And I've got to call a mechanic, send this information to him, and make sure that he can do it.
The problem is going to be saving the cost, because it's by the time you get all done, it's a $125,000 part. By the time you buy the part, ship it, install it. So we got to figure out how to cut that cost, because that's ridiculous. So here we go.
Jamie Bukowski is called back into action. He boards a private charter jet and heads for the Azores.
Yeah, now clear for takeoff. Please check your seatbelts. Thank you.
On our way to Santa Maria in the Azores, we have a problem with the aircraft that's in Istanbul. So I'm going to remove the part from the aircraft in the Azores. I'm going to prepare it. I'm going to carry it with me. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to take this charter jet and I'm going to deliver the part to my counterpart, Mike, who will be meeting me at Audit Airport in Istanbul.
At the Santa Maria airport, Jamie finds Plane 87, the same plane he retrieved from France.
Hi, Uncle, how are you?
Finding specialized tools for a jetliner on a small island in the middle of the Atlantic is next to impossible. With help from local airport mechanics, Jamie will attempt to remove the brake manifold with nothing more than the contents of a standard toolbox. The job takes him nearly 4 hours to complete.
7/16, long extension and a ratchet. No, be done. Okay, I'll take it from you. This is the unit that Istanbul is so desperately waiting for. 2 hydraulic lines here, 2 hydraulic lines here, and 4 electrical connectors.
The brake manifold has been successfully removed from this Airbus and is in good condition. All that's left now for Jamie is to deliver the part to Mike Connolly. Jamie records the procedure in the A320's logbook, packs up the manifold, and heads for Istanbul.
Jamie's got the brake manifold. He's going to deliver it to Mike in Turkey. Mike's going to deliver it to the repair station. We're going to slap it on the airplane. Once that's done, if it works, we're flying 88 out, and we've saved the client a couple $100,000. We didn't have to go out and buy another part. God, I hope we get out of Turkey before Eurocontrol figures out what's going on.
Coming up,
It's like everybody wants bum flesh from us. Jamie's got the brake manifold. He's going to deliver it to Mike in Turkey. Mike's going to deliver it to the repair station. We're going to slap it on the airplane. Once that's done, if it works, we're flying 88 out.
We're going to approach to Istanbul, and this may be the end of the journey, and I'm really excited about it. So, another half an hour, and my part of this is over.
after 6 hours in the air, Jamie finally arrives in Turkey. There to greet him is mechanic Mike Connolly, anxious to receive the brake manifold. Mike has been grounded in Turkey for days, and he knows his time to move plane 88 is running out. Any moment, Eurocontrol will realize that the plane is being repoed. Now that Jamie has delivered the part, the plan is to install the manifold quickly and fly the Airbus out to the Azores tonight.
We finally got the release from Istanbul for the airplane to fly. We actually picked a tech stop for them to stop for fuel, and in Malta, and the airplane still hadn't left the ground as of a few minutes ago.
That's your fly wire?
With yet more delays holding up plane 88 from Turkey, Nick now knows he must go himself and rendezvous with the A320 or risk losing everything.
If Eurocontrol wakes up, I'm dead. We owe them 400,000 euros. Well, we don't, but does, and they got to realize this is their last airplane because the other one's already been deregistered. Sooner or later, that light bulb is going to go on.
And as usual, Nick is wary that the entire operation could fall apart.
88, if in fact he files bankruptcy and they can grab the airplane before I get it out of the EU, they can take it back.
The Eurocontrol threat grows greater every minute the plane remains in Turkey. It is crucial that Nick moves the plane to the halfway point in the Azores so he can complete the repo and get the plane onto U.S. soil.
I got to get it to the Azores. I got to slap a sticker on it. I got to park it there. I got to put it in my name there, and I got to take care of that. And it's like everybody wants a pound of flesh from us.
Hey, my son wants. Do you want me to take it, or do you want to take it?
Hello. All right, I'll give them an update right now. Thanks, bye. They're in the air, wheels are in the well.
The brake manifold has been successfully installed, and the project is back on track.
You want to let Santa Maria know they'll be on the ground 6 hours, 26 minutes.
88 has finally taken off from Turkey, taking it further from Eurocontrol and one step closer to repossession. Soon, both planes will be waiting in the Azores for the final phase.
I'm on my way to the Azores tonight. I'm hoping to say, guys, you got 10 hours, go to sleep, then we're getting in the airplanes and we're coming home.
Coming up, mechanical issues continue to hamper the recovery of Plane 87, and an unidentified observer sets nerves on the edge.
There's just something not right about it.
Nick Popovich and his team are in the midst of repossessing two Airbus A320s, one from Turkey and one from France. A mountain of mechanical and political problems has wasted much time. As of last night, both planes are in the Azores, awaiting the final leg of the trip back to the US. Later that night, Nick arrives at the Gary Jet Center, home base for his flight operations and his planes. He boards his Challenger, accompanied by Al Nigro. Al is a representative of the leasing bank and an old friend of Nick's.
We're up, we're good to go.
Both men know they have a small window of opportunity to travel 2,400 miles, tag both A320s, and get them back to the United States before the defaulting airline files bankruptcy, which is why they themselves are flying through the Azores.
No, 118.
The Azores are strategically located in the Atlantic Ocean, 2,400 miles east of North America. A perfect hiding spot and midway point before safely flying the planes to the United States.
There's one, two.
No kidding.
Dose.
Right.
Matching twins.
Where do you see 'em?
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it up to a pilot to come up with that.
We enjoyed you so much.
I appreciate it.
Buongiorno. No, wrong place.
The entire crew must clear customs. Nick and Al then immediately examine both of the A320s.
And that's where they
Is it supposed to be like that?
Yeah, until we get our manifold back.
Okay.
Their first order of business will be to replace the brake manifold on Plane 87 from France, after Jamie removed it to be used on Plane 88 a few days earlier. A new one was found and purchased. It must be installed before this plane can leave.
We gotta get up there and change the registration.
Yeah.
The registration number must be changed before they're allowed to fly back to the U.S.
Look who's here.
To help them, they are joined by mechanic Mike Connolly, who's flown with Plane 88 all the way from Turkey.
I brought in another brake manifold for this aircraft so we can carry it home.
Nick will lend a helping hand, but with no specialized tools and no additional assistance, they know it'll be a time-consuming job.
Got it?
Yeah.
The brake manifold is held in place with 4 bolts, but without removing the gear door fairing, access is difficult.
push the unit back. We will get this piece in one way or the other.
Electrical connections tie the A320's brakes to a computer, which interprets the pilot's brake pressure from the cockpit and slows the plane accordingly.
This plane doesn't go anywhere until we're done with this and checked it.
If the brake manifold does not work properly, an attempt to land the plane could end up a disaster, sending the jet skidding off the runway, unable to stop.
Can't get those last frickin' transducer to fit. It's frustrating because with the way the hoses are clamped, it's the only place it can go, but it won't fit. It's opposite of what it... The valve that came off of here went on there, no problem. That one came off there, should go on here, no problem, but it doesn't.
I see the problem.
Even Al gets involved to help speed up the process.
It's twisted. That's the problem. Yeah. See this? See, Nick, there's two together?
Yeah.
That two together is in the 1 o'clock position here.
Right.
But you can't get it to reach. This right here is the...
Well, let's do this. Let's unconnect it from the...
Here?
Yeah. Put it in and reconnect it.
Does this come out any further? Okay, we're ready to go.
All right.
Al hands the job back over to Mike, and together with Nick, sets out to put on the new registration numbers.
Now, these we gotta be real careful with.
Once they finish and test the braking system, they'll be home free.
Oh, we worked on that brake manifold for a number of hours, so I think we got it. We got that taken care of. Now we're just gonna start the APU and see if we got hydraulic pressure. And then I think we should be ready to go.
Get nothing.
But the bad luck continues to plague this repossession. The batteries are completely dead. Even the auxiliary-powered batteries have been drained.
Brake manifold, we got that fixed. Now it looks like we got some dead batteries, so we may have to steal them off the other plane, see if that fixes it.
I don't know. Something just isn't right with this airplane. It's got a gremlin and I'm...
And to complicate matters, several crew members have spotted a suspicious-looking man photographing their every move.
This guy over on the fence is really making me nervous. He's been taking photos all day, have no idea who he is, what he's doing, or why he's there. But there's just something not right about it. Something just isn't right.
Anxious to get the plane moving, Nick phones the other mechanic, Jamie Bukowski, for guidance on the electrical issue.
Well, I got a set of batteries laying across the ramp, so if I have to, I'll do it. All right. Well, hey, you know, I'm getting out of here tomorrow. Bye.
Mike Connolly sets out to swap batteries with the other plane.
I gotta solve my electrical gremlin. I gotta get this airplane electrically powered. This whole airplane is everything. Everything on it is electrical. It's all computers. It's fly-by-wire. Once we do that, then we're ready to go.
You got ground power?
Got ground power.
The battery strip from the other Airbus is working and all systems are looking good.
Now you got your ground up. Well, at least we got the lightsaber showing her off.
Once the batteries are swapped and power restored, the man in the car makes a phone call and leaves.
I got power on battery number one, though. We're gonna have to leave with just 87.
Oh, great.
Not my choice. Just no option. 88's not ready to fly. 2,000 miles of ocean to cross. Another 1,000 miles once we get into Bangor. Not gonna put the crew at risk.
The team does a thorough inspection.
Brakes on.
And makes arrangements to leave with the plane first thing in the morning and fly it safely into U.S. territory. At 6:30 a.m., the pilots Nick brought from the U.S. are rested and on board. The plane is fueled, and the A320 is ready to leave. Nick is standing by on his jet to follow the plane home.
We got 87 patched together. It's gonna fly home. When we get to Gary, we'll remove the manifold from 87. We'll come back for 88 and hope it's still here and nobody's attached it with anything. Yeah, good news is we're out of here today with one airplane. And it's U.S. registered, and it'll be back in the States.
Please to make direct flight, Charlie, runway 26, approach for this one.
All system checks are good. The tower clears the plane for takeoff.
I'm just so glad you got these things out. Because when we put these things in on this lease, I never thought we'd be coming to the Azores to get them out.
Plane 87 launches for the U.S.
Take a good start on number 2.
Start number 1.
Just behind them is Nick and his crew on the Challenger.
Set the power. Set the power.
Things couldn't be going better, but you can never completely let your guard down. Flight attendant Aaron Zamparelli arrives with an update.
Hey, Nick. Captain Jim is in contact with the Airbus, and they're about 18 minutes behind us. Right now, they're just reporting a hydraulic fluid leak, and they're not going to know how serious it is until we land, and then they might need to have some service. Anything you want me to have them, Captain Jim, relay over to the Airbus?
No, let me talk with Ellen and Mike about it, and then we'll...
Do they have to turn around?
No. At this point, we're at the point of no return.
Coming up.
Something's wrong with the transmitter right now.
There is a serious leak, and it's manifesting itself.
Captain Jim is in contact with the Airbus. Right now, they're reporting a hydraulic fluid leak.
Do they have to turn around?
No. At this point, we're at the point of no return. They're probably an hour and a half out of Bangor.
They say how bad it's leaking, or?
No, they just said it could be a problem.
Could it be coming from that cracked brake manifold?
That would only be a problem when they apply the brakes. If they're going to divert, we want to know, because we'll divert with them.
Something's wrong with the transmitter right now at this point, so they're trying to get it cleared up.
Yeah.
If the leak is severe enough, the brakes could fail upon landing. This could be a catastrophe.
We're at the point of no return, which means we're beyond the halfway point. It could be that there is a serious leak, and it's manifesting itself, and we're going to find out later that it was more serious.
It's a lot of ocean.
Nick's Challenger flies faster than the A320, so it arrives in Bangor, Maine first. They touch down and anxiously wait for Plane 87. Ground crews are on alert in case of a problem caused by the leak. They spot the plane. With limited communication, the full extent of the brake's hydraulic leak is unknown. They're not sure if the brake manifold will hold up, let alone stop this 170,000-pound aircraft. At last, the plane slows to a halt.
Well, one back in the States and one more to go.
The hydraulic fluid on 87 will be filled and bled, hopefully taking care of the leak. While the airliner is serviced and clearing customs, Nick and the others discuss Airbus 88.
We ought to get it done. Don't you think?
I think we should probably mount a mission to go grab that son of a right away.
Yeah.
Nick immediately launches his Challenger to return to Indiana. Airbus 87 will follow shortly.
There they are.
All right.
Nice landing.
Beauty.
Plane 87 arrives without incident in a near-perfect landing.
Fantastic.
It's a successful repo at last.
Great.
But one plane still needs to be brought home. The leasing bank is anxious to secure the other Airbus and is afraid other creditors will seize it before they do. Nick decides to pack his bags and quickly return to the Azores.
Okay, when do you leave this afternoon?
I leave 7 o'clock. This is the last of the Airbuses.
Okay.
It has only been a few hours since Nick and his crew returned home with the first of 2 A320 Airbuses. But for Nick, sleep is not an option. He needs to take some action before someone else does. With the second plane still sitting unprotected in the Azores and the clock ticking,
Yeah.
Nick suspects that the leasing airline is about to file bankruptcy. The rush is on to recover the multi-million-dollar Airbus and move it to U.S. soil.
As soon as Sasha and Jim get enough rest to be legal, we're going back to the Azores to get 88. We need to get the airplane off the island before it all hits the fan. Headed to the Gary Airport. Time for an all-night flight to Santa Maria, Azores, Portugal.
The pilots are now legally rested, having had 10 hours off.
Hey.
Not willing to waste any more time, they are heading back to the Azores for the second passenger jet.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Left 050, climb maintained 3000, clear for takeoff.
A fully charged battery for the A320 is on board. Hopefully they can plug it in and get airborne quickly.
Is everything right here?
Yeah, now that Karen got new fuel and we reprinted the import documents.
This time Nick brings along most of the original crew, with the addition of Karen's assistant, Gabby Sage-Popovich, and repo pilot Joel Ford.
It's definitely the hardest repo I've worked on, for sure. There's a lot of complications that went into this one. Things changed a lot, and obviously since it's a different country, there's just a lot to learn, and you have to learn it quick.
Piloting Nick's Challenger again are Jim and Sash.
6, go 6.
And after their last experience, they know every second of delay means possibly losing the waiting Airbus.
We'll land the Azores here in a few hours. And if all goes well, hopefully we can come back. If not, we're there for a while. We don't know what's going to happen.
I just want to tell you, the weather is real bad.
But now, approaching their fueling stop in Newfoundland, Canada, they have encountered some severe weather. Low visibility, fog, and freezing rain together make a bad combination for a pilot trying to land a plane.
10,000, restricted at 250, definitely 142. 605 next to site.
The pilots must have 1,800 feet of visibility in order to land. If the weather doesn't clear in time, they will be forced to divert to Gander, 100 miles away. A delay that could cost them the successful repo of the second Airbus. Coming up, the unfriendly skies show little mercy.
Touchdown.
Rough weather and low visibility in Newfoundland are making a necessary fueling stop on the way to the Azores nearly impossible.
Runway visual range, which they give it in feet, is 1,400 feet.
With the minimum visibility allowed, they decide to try and land.
150.
Land flat. Land flat.
And manage to get the plane down safely.
Some of this stuff about bad weather.
Check that out.
Still shaking.
Oh, for the landing?
Although more on edge, they at least remain on schedule.
Taking off runway 14. Clear for takeoff.
The only question remaining is, will the multi-million-dollar Airbus still be there waiting?
Airbus are us.
Plane 88 is still where they left it. They will now have to work fast to prepare the plane and get it back on U.S. soil.
Well, Captain, we ready?
First, they must replace the battery they took from this plane in order to fly Plane 87 home.
We'll get this going, get the APU fired up.
A thorough exam of the exterior is also done to make sure no one has tampered with it in the last 24 hours while it sat here unguarded.
There we go.
Once the battery's installed, firing up the auxiliary power unit is the final test.
Hell, it almost looks like everything's supposed to be on.
It's going pretty smooth, it seems. That should be good. Oh.
But the battery connection is not holding. So they will have to try again. All the connections are double-checked.
We're still parked exactly where we were when we got here. You know, again, don't count your chickens before they're hatched, I think they say. Yeah, we'll try that.
Once again, they start the APU. This time, they will have to make sure it holds so the battery is able to fully charge the system.
Hey.
Everything looks okay from what I've seen.
What's that? Turn those ones off?
Yeah, turn them on.
Okay.
I'm still thinking of drain the batteries.
Oh, yeah.
With the plane finally started, one obstacle remains.
Batteries are installed. Pilots are happy with the airplane, and I just got to go in and battle with customs, and we're all done. So hopefully, quick chat with them, and we're out of here. You know, half-hour battle, we're ready to go. It's just, let's get out of here.
Finally, after weeks of work around the globe, the last A320 is repossessed and ready to be returned to the U.S.
All right, thanks, guys.
As he watches Airbus 88 fly off toward home, Nick considers the options that are now available to the plane's owner.
The owner's got to make his mind up what he wants to do with these. Does he want to sell them? Is he going to try leasing them again to another operator? Does he want to part them out? I don't know, but he's got to come up with that, figure out where the economics lie for him. We're out the hell out of here. Certainly was a challenging task. 2 A320s across 3 continents, a lot of open water, mechanical problems, customs challenges, but we got them home safely, and I think my crew did a hell of a job.